Test, test.
Test, test. 1, 2.
It is officially time to start game number 2 of our doubleheader as the Vikings once again host the Seattle Pacific Falcons. Lineups for this evening's contest: first, for Seattle Pacific, number 5, Austin Ibala, number 6, Paige Dawson, number 10, Maya Holman, 11, Aaron Gould, number 14, Ashley Antoniak, number 16, Aaron Smith, 18 is Sarah Day, number 19, Maddie Pruden, number 21, Gabby Stegmuller, and number 22, Zoe Schukart. Starters for Seattle Pacific. Wearing number 3, a freshman, outside hitter, Allison Wilkes. Middle blocker, she's the freshman, number 7, Hannah Hare. A senior outside hitter, number 8, Maddie Batiste. A freshman opposite hitter, number 13, Sarah Brockvogel. A sophomore setter, number 17, Lindsay Lambert. A freshman outside hitter, number 26, Sydney Perry. And the libero is a freshman wearing number 12, Lindsay Rosenthal. Seattle Pacific is coached by Abby Wright, and Abby is assisted by Haley Gaines. Here we go with the Vikings lineup. Wearing number 6, Malia Aliaga. Number 8, Tupula Logo. Number 11, Gabby Kempley. Number 13, Olivia Fairchild. Number 14, Sophia Carter. 17, Tess Biscup. 21, Kate Wick. Number 22, Gabby Gunterman. Starters for the Vikings. A middle blocker, sophomore number 3, Anna Marisic. A freshman outside hitter, number 5, Kylie Hanrud. A senior outside hitter, number 9, the amazing Allison Davenport. Junior middle blocker, number 12, Chloe Ritzesender. A sophomore outside hitter, number 18, Kylie Heilborn. A senior setter, number 20, the excellence of execution, Janae Payne. And the libero is a sophomore wearing number 1, Casey Woodruff. The Vikings are coached by Diane Flick-Williams. Diane is assisted by James Suh. It's game time!
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Western Washington University at WECU Court at Carver Gymnasium for the last match of the season between Western Washington University and Seattle Pacific. My name is Sean Church alongside Ben Bagley. This is the second of 2 matches today for these 2 teams. First match was at 12:30 earlier this afternoon. Vikings came away with a 3-1 victory, and we are going to start here pretty soon. But Ben, it's good to have you here. You were not here for the first match, but you were here for the second match, and this is senior night, so we could see Janae Payne and Allison Davenport play their last game here for the Vikings. How, what's going to go, do you think is going through their mind at this point here?
I mean, it's a mixture of both excitement and nerves, it has to be. Of course, for Janae Payne, missed some time earlier this year, finally getting her chance, really hitting her stride last game. 46 assists last game by Janae Payne. So both Payne and Davenport playing at the absolute peak of their game. They're apex competitors. It's going to be a lot of fun. And especially closing out against their rival SPU. They have 2 losses on the year. Both of them are to the Falcons. Now, they haven't lost yet at home this year. Both of those losses were on the road down in Seattle at Braun Pavilion. So it's going to be a fun battle here on WECU Court, seeing which team can kind of, take the season series. And a very special moment for Davenport and Janae Payne.
And first serve underway here for Seattle Pacific. Lindsay Lambert, the sophomore, with the serve. And then Heilborn just taps it over. A different libero. Actually, check that. That is Lindsay Rosenthal. That is the libero again. Different jerseys kind of confused me, but a good rally to start by both teams. Out of system play, Davenport taps it over. And again, Honrud, Payne, over to Davenport, and somehow, some way, adjusts her body and kind of had a messed up time on that one, but she gets it to go. Vikings up 1-0.
Davenport had 4 attacks in just that first rally, finally getting one over there. SPU has shown some really strong defense, especially over these last 2 games, Friday and this morning. We're going to see if that defense will hold or if the Vikings kind of break it more like they did in game number 1 today.
Tupula Logo in the match now, and she serves the sophomore. Honrud out for the Vikings. And then over to Davenport. And that one goes, she gets it in there. Okay, I saw both teams kind of celebrate on that one, but looks like the Vikings got the point. Let's see this replay, Ben, and she gets it right in, looks like right in the corner, right in front of the official.
Perfect placement, snuck that right in there, and she's really been the main focal point of this offense through just the first 2 points. We'll see if the Falcons' defense chooses to key on her, or if, she's going to keep having her way as a senior and keep swinging away.
And a service error by Tupula Logo. Tupula Logo, 4 service errors last match and 1 to start here. Definitely very uncharacteristic for Lalogo. A very good server. She'll definitely be able to change that soon, make some adjustments. Heilborn puts it away, and the Vikings are up 3-1 early. And Heilborn coming off of a great match earlier today against Seattle Pacific.
Heilborn also leading this team in kills, 3.47 a match. Her 105th of the season. And
Casey Woodruff is going to serve for the Vikings. And a good serve. Heilborn puts it away. So not an ace for Woodruff, but a great serve nonetheless. And Heilborn with another kill. That's 2 for the night so far. Vikings are up 4-1 early.
I apologize. I got my stats a little bit mixed up. That is kill number 130 now for Callie on the season.
And that is going to be another point for Western. Actually, yes, another point for Western. Western up 5-1. And Woodruff is going to serve again. Vikings 8-2 on the season. And Batiste on the attack, and that one's dug out after it deflected off the net, and Heilborn goes for the kill again, and that one dug out by Seattle Pacific. Tapped over by Sarah Brockvogel, or Brockvogel rather. And that one is put away by the freshman Sydney Perry. And Seattle Pacific now down by 3.
Just going to see a nice, strong attack right here. Going right over Ritzesender and Callie Heilborn. Olivia Fairchild not in the game right now for the Vikings. She's seen a lot of time at that middle blocker position. So a more offensive lineup for the Vikings on the floor right now rather than defensive.
Out of system play as Lologo set it to Heilborn, but the Falcons do a great job on the defensive end, but the Vikings also do a great job on the defensive end. And on their attack, 2 straight points by SPU, both by Sydney Perry. And the Falcons are now down by 2.
And I think you'll even see the reaction on this one. It goes right through the hands of Heilborn. Right there, number 18. She goes up, right through, and right under the screen, actually. She kind of good, looked at her hands. Can't believe that she let that one through.
Allison Wilkes is serving for the Vikings, another freshman. Check that for the Falcons. One of 10 freshmen for the Falcons on the season, so a very young team. And it looks like Ritzesender gets the block, so the Vikings are up 6-3, and this is great timing, Ben, right here.
Yeah, there's some defense for the Viking. Ritzesender, top 5 in the GNAC in blocks. Going right up there uncontested, smacking it back down, 3-point lead.
And the senior Allison Davenport on the serve. And that is a great attack and kill for SPU. That is Sarah Brockvogel. Sarah Brockvogel didn't get a lot of playing time last match. She is a freshman from Mukilteo, Washington, Kamiak High School, and she puts it away. SPU is now down by 2.
How about some nice play by Brockvogel and Perry early in this set? Not players who typically get the bulk of the kills for the Falcons, but make a do of their opportunities.
But for the Vikings, someone who gets a bulk of the kills just had another one, Heilborn, starting out incredibly well again. 3 kills already for the sophomore, and the Vikings are up 7-4.
3 kills in this game. She had 14 in the game earlier today.
With the serve. And it's just tapped over. And Hannah Hare comes up with the kill. And now Seattle Pacific is down by 2. And just a reminder for those of you watching from home, we're having some technical difficulties on the screen. Normally the score will be shown on the screen, and hopefully we're working those things out. But until then, just listen to mine and Ben's voices. We'll keep updating you on the score as it is 7-6, Vikings with the lead. That one was blocked by SPU. They're now down 1.
Defense by the Falcons. Yesterday, when the game in Seattle Pacific, they just dominated these Vikings defensively. All kinds of blocks, all kinds of stuffs. It turned around a little bit in game number 1. Broken play there, end up going to the Vikings. But really, in that game on Friday, it was really kind of a wake-up call for these Vikings, and Seattle Pacific just dominated them all match, every single set on defense. Turned the tables this morning. Vikings hit much better. An 8-6 score here. It's going to see what's going to win out, Vikings offense or that very, very stout Seattle defense.
Malia Aliaga in the match now for the Vikings. Vikings up 8-6 as Aliaga gets a dig. Out of system play as Heilborn over to Honrud. Good job by Honrud to keep it in between the antenna. Davenport, Payne, over to Marisic, and she hits it long, but they're asking for a deflection. They're not going to get it, so point SPU. They're down by 1. Vikings lead 8-7.
Marisic, former GNAC Player of the Week, just barely missing it at the corner there. 8-7, Vikings lead.
And number 12, Lindsay Rosenthal, is going to serve, one of 10 freshmen for Seattle Pacific as Marisic goes in the attack, but great defense by the Falcons. And Pruden is now on the board. Maddie Pruden, the redshirt freshman, she gets the kill. And the Vikings and the Falcons are now tied at 8 early.
Man, both of these teams are just filled with girls who just slug it. Whether it's Pruden, Baptiste, Hare, anybody for the Falcons and for the Vikings, you got all those great hitters. There's just so much power on the court right now.
And Maricic bounces back and gets a kill of her own, and she puts the Vikings up by 1. It is 9-8 Vikings lead.
Just a nice ball, taking a little bit off of it. We talked about all that power. When you have so much power just stuffing it down their throat, that's when it's so crucial to take a little bit off of it and just get a nice little rainbow shot.
And serving for the Vikings on that one was Janae Payne, but Maddie Baptiste with the kill. She puts it away. SPU, Western Washington tied at 9.
Yeah, now that is some power. Maddie Baptiste, the leader of this SPU offense, she actually plays much better against Western at home. She's really struggled in WECU court. Her numbers go significantly down. So if she can keep getting kills like that, make those numbers go up, always room for improvement.
And Honrud puts it away for the Vikings. And Ben, we were mentioning earlier that Honrud kind of had a breakout match earlier, a very good match in the win over SBU earlier at 12:30, and she just puts it away here. And that's a redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman out of my alma mater, Ferndale High School. Go Golden Eagles. Kylie Honrud had 14 kills in the match earlier today with a .303 hitting percentage.
Vikings lead 10-9, but on that play, the match is tied at 10. SBU Western, 10 apiece. You can see on this replay, and that's Wilkes for you. She puts it away, and it is a tie game. And just a reminder to anybody tuning in, we're having some technical difficulties with the score on the screen, but the score is 10 apiece. We're working on that, and we'll try to get it to you very shortly. As that is a great block by Allison Wilkes, and Seattle Pacific now in the lead, 11-10.
And that's what we're talking about with that Falcon defense. They're just so aggressive, and they just stuff these Vikings. We're so used to seeing the women in blue being the ones with all the blocks, on top of the NCAA leaderboards every year. But in this series, this season, it's really been the Falcons.
And that's a good adjustment by Davenport. That's blocked by Wilkes again. Lambert tries to dump it over on the play before that. And that one is put away. Sarah Brockvogel, again, the freshman. She gets the kill, and Seattle Pacific, they're up 12-10 now in the first set.
Seattle Pacific really flexing that power. 6 different players already with a kill.
And Maddie Baptiste is serving, and that's a great serve as it went over the net, but had a lot of power on it, and it set them up for a rally. A great job by Western to bounce back. Out of system play. Tapped over. Payne over to Davenport. Deflected, and it goes in. So the Vikings now down by 1, 12-11, and Allison Davenport now has 3 kills.
And really just a beautiful series. Casey Woodruff getting that dig. Beautiful set by Janae Payne, and Allison Davenport placing that kill perfectly. All 3 touches on that were pristine.
Casey Woodruff gets the ace. That is mishandled by SPU, and we are now tied at 12, and Woodruff is going to serve again.
9 of the games that these two teams have played this year have been at least 20-20. They've both scored 20 points in 9 of those games. And 12-12 right now, we're well on our way to another one.
And that's a great block, but a great defensive dig by Baptiste to keep it alive. As Payne cross-court set to Heilborn, and it looked like it kind of went off the side of her hand, Ben, but she's going to take it. Vikings lead 13-12.
You know what we call that? We call that calculated. Even if it wasn't intentional, perfect placement, such a strong angle. I love the creativity that Heilborn always brings in her attacks.
And the thing about Heilborn is if you asked her if she did it, she is not afraid to tell you that she did not mean to do it, but she'll take it. As SBU comes back with a point of their own, and we are tied here at 13.
SPU with a very good hitting percentage of .333, flexing that power. They've really made, the logo has been their target a lot of the times. Just those attackers are really sending it into the back line of the Viking defense.
And again, the logo right there. Payne behind her back to Davenport, and she gets a kill on that one. Had to wait a little bit because a couple of the deflections, but Davenport now has 4 kills on the night, and the Vikings take a 14-13 lead.
excellent set by Janae Payne. Look at the touch. Perfectly placed for Davenport.
And Allison Davenport, one of 2 seniors. She's going to serve here. And that is fantastic timing. Hannah Hare with the kill and Lindsay Lambert with the assist. And again, we are tied here at 14.
Now, Hare almost jumped before the serve came. It wasn't quite that quick. But, man, you were right. She was there right when the ball hit its apex and just sent it pounding back down.
Now in the game for the Falcons, Austin Ibali, and she serves. And on the attack, Brockvogel hits it long, but they're asking for, no, it looks like it was just long, so point Vikings. Vikings up 15-14, and Ben, we're going back and forth here.
Back and forth, and like I mentioned earlier, we are going to, don't be surprised at all if however many sets we play here this evening, if all of them, both teams score at least 20 points.
And on the attack, and that one is dug out by Davenport. Payne over to Honru, but that one is a good defensive play. Pruden with the lefty, but that's dug out by Woodruff. And Heilborn tries to find the middle of the court, but Batiste is right there. And Hare looks like she also mishit it, but just like we said about Heilborn earlier, she may have mishit it, but she'll take the kill, and we are tied here at 15.
Hannah Hare now with 3 kills in the match. A little bit of a deke, but she got the point anyways. She had a team-high 11 kills in the first match.
And serving for Falcons, Sarah Brockvogel. SPU with another point. SPU takes the lead 16-15.
That's going to be a service ace for the Falcons, their first of the game.
And just a reminder for those of you tuning in, working on trying to get the score on the screen for you. But for right now, Seattle Pacific leads Western 16-15, but we are actually tied now at 16 as that one deflects and goes out of bounds. That was Honru, Ben, and like again, we're tied at 16, and she is picking up where she left off from the last match.
She certainly is. She might have gotten just a little bit lucky there. It was deflected. That ball looked like it may have been going long anyways.
Malia Aliaga now in the match to serve. Batiste on the attack, Davenport right there, but they're going to get Payne for the double hit. So Seattle Pacific leads 17-16.
Malia Aliaga checking out of the game right now. Interesting when they run Aliaga and Janae Payne together. 2 very good setters on the court at the same time. Could set up some pretty unique Western attacks.
And Lindsay Rosenthal is on the serve. But on the attack, Honrud puts it away. She now has 4 kills on the match. And for the redshirt freshman, having a great day thus far. We were tied here at 17.
Honrud, the young slugger, going up, throwing it down. She's been filling in for Gabby Gunterman, who hasn't played since April 24th. And as the redshirt freshman, certainly doing a tremendous job.
And that is a double hit by Seattle Pacific. So the Vikings are up 18-17, and Ben, it has not had any, and we have had no reason to think that this is going to be nothing more than a close match between 1 or 2 points.
No, and you go down the line, I mean, almost the same amount of kills, almost the same amount of errors, almost the same hitting percentage, almost the same amount of assists. These 2 teams are very, very even, and it's just great volleyball.
Pruden on the attack, and somehow Heilborn doesn't fall. And here's a 50-50 ball, and actually he didn't make it close to the net, so SBU just taps it over. But on the attack, Marisic uses her touch, and she gets the kill. Vikings up by 2 points now, 19-17.
Marisic's game, is much more technical than it is powerful, but she gets it there. Vikings with a 19-17 lead.
And we're going to go to a break here. Vikings up 19-17. We'll be right back.
Quality food brings people together, so we continue to provide the best and freshest food available. Every day, we reach out, finding the best producers right here in our backyard. At Hagen, we partner with passionate local producers, farmers, and fishers to find you the best sustainable, fresh, and organic food. Hagen, Northwest Fresh since 1933.
The Teaching and Learning Academy is an organization that's housed in the library, and it's where people come to have conversations.
They deal with serious issues that have emotional impact in ways that are typically not found in a class.
We've talked about diversity and inclusivity on our campus and in our community.
It not only enriches my education, but also impacts the ways that I can continue my leadership roles.
And welcome back to WECU Court on campus of Western Washington University. Vikings lead the Falcons 19-17, as you can see on the replay. A couple highlights from the senior, Allison Davenport, her last match of her Western career at WECU Court, senior night. Also Janae Payne, who is serving. Service error by Janae Payne. And SPU now down by 1.
Janae Payne, her first service error of the year.
And she has been used throughout her career here as a serving specialist. Even on games that she didn't get enough playing time, she was always vital for a good serve. Davenport goes for the attack, but that is played perfectly by SBU as Batiste goes for the attack again. And that is stopped as Davenport tries to push it to the corner. And that one is blocked. And somehow SBU keeps it alive, but Perry puts it into the back corner. And 2 straight points off of the timeout for Seattle Pacific, and we are tied here at 19.
After a lot of blocks and a long rally, Perry just finding one place that a Viking defender wasn't. Tying this one up, 19-19.
And Lindsay Lambert is going to serve for Seattle Pacific, and great save by Payne. And she gets it to Honrud, and ouch. That was powerful, Ben.
I'm not sure if it was audible, but right when she hit that, I audibly gasped. She destroyed that ball. Honrud, only a redshirt freshman. But, man, if she can continue to hone that craft, the sky really is the limit for her ability as an outside hitter.
And I'm not surprised because she went to Ferndale High School.
Hey, you know how we raise them.
Exactly. And a little bit of miscommunication by SBU, so on the attack, Western tries to get it, and somehow, some way, again, Heilborn kind of has to go off the side of her hand, but it looks like it hit Batiste right in the shoulder.
Yeah, Batiste kind of in an awkward little space, not far enough back to get a good bump, not close enough to get a good set, so she just had to catch it with her body. Unideal, and the Vikings now with a 2-point lead, 21-19.
And again, service error by Tupu Lulogo.
That's 2 for Lulogo now in this game. She hit one earlier. Earlier, she hit one into the net.
And that one went long, and Western is up by 1 now as Maddie Batiste is going to serve. For those of you just tuning in, we're working on trying to get a score for you on the screen. A little bit of technical difficulties, but Western leads by 2 now, 22-20 in the first set. As that one goes long on the attack error, and Casey Woodruff is going to serve.
Still a 2-point game. Vikings 22, Falcons 20. Vikings just barely grabbing onto some momentum here. This is a big point.
And that one looks like it was blocked, or that would be 4 hits. Vikings on the attack. Davenport tries to push it into no man's land. Good defense by the Vikings. And that is blocked by Davenport, and that one will be point Vikings, 23-20, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Abby Wright calls a timeout here, and she does. So the score is 23-20 here in the first set, and we're going to keep things here. And Ben, we knew going into this match, just because this is match number 6 between Seattle Pacific and Western, that it was going to be close, and so far, so good.
So far, so good. And that last point, so Sean, I'm a statistics major, so I'm really nerdy about all the math, and that last point was huge. It was a 22-20 game. If Seattle Pacific were to get that point, all of a sudden it's 22-21, a 1-point game. Now it's a 3-point game, 23-20. And just statistically, the difference in the advantage that the Vikings have just by getting that point, a 3-point lead, 23-20 instead of 22-21, it's drastically different. And I think in the games that the Vikings win, it's just because they have a little bit more experience and just a little bit more age, or veteran leadership, I should say, than the Falcons do. They're very, very young, and Falcons have already beat the Vikings twice this year, so this is not to discredit them in any way. But in these close matches, you often see the team, the little more experience, a little more playoff experience, getting those extra points, turning that instead of 22-21, 23-20, and just making all the difference in the world.
And we're back from the timeout here. Casey Woodruff is going to serve again for the Vikings. Right-handed serve, looks like it's going long, but the Falcons play it as Perry goes on the attack, and the logo right there. Great dig by the sophomore. And Perry again, and she puts this one away. Sydney Perry, the freshman, with another kill. That's her 4th kill of the match. The Falcons now down by 2, 23-21. And serving for Seattle Pacific is Allison Wilkes. Payne over to Davenport, and that's a great dig by Batiste and a great save by Lambert, but attack error on that play. So point Vikings, and the Vikings now are 1 point away from taking this first set here at home. Second of 2 matches here on WECU court.
Last 2 points for the Vikings have also been attack errors by the Falcons.
And on the attack, Lalogo goes for the attack after getting the dig. That's great defense by the Vikings. But even better offense by Seattle Pacific, and that was Sarah Brockvogel, who didn't get very much playing time in the first match, but she started this one. She puts it away, and SPU trying to come back here in this first set. They're down by 2. Still at match point. Austin Nabali. She gets the ace, and I wouldn't be surprised, Ben, if Diane Flick-Williams calls a timeout. Very important point, and she does.
You know your head coach so well.
I do, and the thing about it, Ben, is that we've been doing sports here for a while, but I've been doing volleyball for about 10 years, and Diane Flick-Williams knows exactly when to call timeouts, and not like no other coaches do, but she's been here so long, and she knows her players so well that she knows when to call it right here, and this is so important because this next point is huge because they, of course, win the set, but if SBU gets the point, it's 24-24, and you have to win by 2.
I'm very curious to see how Western comes out in their offense. Are they going to go with the classic Allison Davenport that we've been seeing for the majority of this match? Are they going to go to old reliable Callie Heilborn? Or are they going to maybe try and catch them off guard? Maybe they're telling Janae Payne right now, hey, get a sneaky dump shot. Very curious. There's a lot of options. I wonder what Coach Williams is cooking up in that huddle.
And we're coming out of the timeout here, and again, very, very good first set, just like for all 4 sets earlier today. 24-23, and there we go. The score is on the screen for your liking. And although we will continue to give you the score, okay, I'll take the hint, as we're going to serve here Austin Abale, but we'll still continue to give you the score just in case, but we have the graphic here just in time, and we are 1 point away from taking this first set here for Western, but SBU is 1 point away from extending this match. Actually extended the set, rather. On the attack, that one is actually put back, and it looks like Janae Payne, a very fitting way to end this set. She gets a block as a setter, and she is very excited, and she should be. Let's see this replay right here. Brockvogel goes for it, and Payne puts...
Look at that reaction.
And that is pure joy. She loves to play volleyball, and she knows this is her last match, and she's going to get everything out of it. So Vikings win the first set 25-23. When we come back, the second set, we'll be right back.
Quality food brings people together, so we continue to provide the best and freshest food available. Every day, we reach out, finding the best producers right here in our backyard. At Hagen, we partner with passionate local producers, farmers, and fishers to find you the best sustainable, fresh, and organic food. Hagen, Northwest Fresh since 1933.
My name is Morgan Paris-Lanza. I'm the executive director and one of the founding organizers of Bellingham Girls Rock Camp. Not only is it an opportunity for kids to learn music, write a song, express themselves, but they also gain these leadership skills that they might not get in other places. It's a program, it's a culture as well as an entire movement, and we really want everybody to feel like they're a part of it, because they are. We all rock.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And welcome back to WECU Court for this match between Western and SPU. As you can see on this replay coming back from the break, that's how that set ended, as Janae Payne very excited as she gets a block. She's a senior. She's one of two seniors on the team, and this is their last match. Right next to her is Allison Davenport, but the Vikings won 25-23 in the first set. Ben, can you quickly go over some of the stats from the first set?
Yeah, it really was all about offense in that first set right until the end. The final 4 points scored by the Vikings were all off of attack errors by the Falcons. Up until that point, both teams were actually hitting over 300, so offense was just going crazy. At the end, Seattle Pacific broke down just a bit. Again, 4 straight attack errors to give the Vikings the win. But right now, one of these defense really needs to step up. It's been all offense.
And the Vikings are going to start here. Janae Payne serving it for the Vikings. In the first match today at 12:30, she had 3 aces and 3 kills as a setter to go along with 46 assists. So she's trying to make the most of her last match of her Western career, and I think she's doing a great job, as well as Davenport. And somehow, some way, it was bumped over for the kill. That was kind of a live another day kind of bump by, looks like that was Heilborn.
That was the third hit. She was going to go for attack and then said maybe not. Very clever.
The Vikings up 1-0. And that one goes wide, so another attack. Actually, check that service error for Janae Payne. As you can see, the score here is 1-1. Here in the second set, Vikings won 25-23, and Ben, we keep saying it, but I don't mind saying it over and over again. These two teams are very evenly matched right now, and they have been all season.
Oh, this is a fantastic rivalry, and it's going to remain a fantastic rivalry for the next 3 to 4 years. Allison Davenport getting the kill there. Serves assist from Janae Payne, excuse me. Davenport, her senior day. Nice job taking the angle. Falcons chase after it. The Vikings have a 2-1 lead.
And Casey Woodruff now in the match. And Woodruff now is not the libero anymore. They did a switch between breaks, and Lologo is now the libero. First time all season that has been the case for the Vikings. We're tied here at 2.
I was just going to say, really strong kill there by Maddie Pruden.
Maddie Pruden, another freshman. 10 freshmen on the Seattle Pacific roster. And on the attack, Marisic puts it away. And just like that, the Vikings are up 3-2 again.
I'm a pretty big fan of that kind of serve. Really short, just right in the breadbasket for whoever's hitting in the middle. It's so fast, and especially if it's hit with a lot of power, it can just catch a defense off guard as it did that time.
The logo with the serve. And on the attack, Pruden, but that one's dug out by Lologo. But Hannah Hare was right there to put it away, and we are tied here at 3.
Difficult 50-50 ball here. You see Janae Payne, maybe she would have turned around and got a block, but too hard when the ball is over your head like that. Good job attacking on the 50-50 by the Falcons.
And you also have to watch out for hitting the net at the same time,
Sure.
so it's very difficult to do that, but good job by Hannah Hare to time it perfectly. And Ritzesender back in the match now. She now has a kill. I believe that's her first one of the match, and it is. And the Vikings are up 4-3.
And the last 2 kills by the Vikings have been on that quick, fast attack. The quick set by Janae Payne. Last time it was Marisic. This time it was Ritzesender.
And Allison Davenport now serving for the Vikings. And that one is in there. She gets an ace. That is her second ace of the day. First one of this match, but she had one in the match prior at 12:30. So between her and Janae Payne, both seniors, 5 aces on the day. Vikings lead 5-3. And unfortunately, service error right after a service ace. That's sometimes how it works. That's Murphy's Law. And the Vikings are still up 5-4, but the Seattle Pacific Vikings will serve.
Seattle Pacific Vikings will serve?
The Seattle Pacific Falcons will serve.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Just wanted to make sure there wasn't a third team that was entering the mix real quick.
Yes. Thank you for calling me out on that one, Ben. And it needed to be done, but that was a service error by Seattle Pacific Falcons. There we go. Vikings up 6-4. On the attack, Hare puts it away. SBU now down by 1.
Hannah Hare leads this team, is second on the team with 2.47 kills per game. She's a freshman, but she does not play like it. 6'5" Vikings.
And now number 12 for Seattle Pacific, Lindsay Rosenthal will serve as Payne goes behind her back to Ritzesender, and that's good timing, but good defense by the Falcons. And that one, little mishit by Honrud. We are tied here at 6.
So a little bit of sloppy play here from both teams. A couple of service errors, a couple of attack errors already. It's played very, very clean volleyball through the first 35-40 points of the first set. This one falling apart just a little bit. Both teams want to clean it up.
Lindsay Rosenthal was on the serve, but Ritzesender was on the kill. Payne again with another assist, and Vikings lead 7-6.
I would call that pretty clean. Nice ball going all the way to the outside. Ritzesender getting up, going right down the line. 7-6 Vikings.
And Malia Aliaga is in the game now to serve. Today, she's been the serving specialist for the Vikings. On the attack, that's a great block by the Vikings. That was Marisic. Perry tries to do it. She gets another chance, and she puts that one away. So the Vikings and the Falcons are tied at 7 apiece.
Man, Perry picked her spot. You saw she just hit it once. Calborn dug it out and just went right back to her place. She said, I'm hitting the ball here, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And the logo back in the game now for Aliaga. And serving for the Falcons, Lindsay Lambert. And another service error, Ben, and we had mentioned this, or you have mentioned this, that there's been a lot of service errors and a lot of attack errors this match thus far.
And actually, as I look at it, neither team has an official attack error here in set number 2. They've all been service errors. Every one that I thought was an attack error was actually service, and to my count, there's been at least 4, which is absurdly high for this early in a set.
And an out-of-system play as Marisic maybe got away with a double hit there, but on the attack, Davenport. Vikings going at it again. And this is a good rally by both teams. Brockvogel gets it deflected and goes in the middle of the court. So we are tied again at 8.
Those deflections can be so brutal. You'll see it was both Davenport and Honrud. Off the deflection, they both got caught. Almost did the splits was Davenport. Nice way to get on the board there by the Falcons. 8-8.
And serving for Seattle Pacific, Erin Gould. On the attack, Honrud, and she gets it. Honrud now, 6 kills on the match. And she is tied with Heilborn for the game lead for both teams with 6. The Vikings lead 9-8.
As you mentioned, tied with Heilborn for the team lead in kills in this game. They also both led the team with 14 kills each in the game earlier today.
And Pruden puts it away, and we talked about her power. She's just a freshman. And also, Ben, how tough do you think it is for the Vikings to adjust to somebody that is actually going at it left-handed rather than right?
I didn't even notice that. That's a great observation. You know, I've never played volleyball at this level myself, but I've played a lot of baseball, and I wonder if it looks differently. Like, you know, baseball left-handed pitcher, it comes out differently. I'm sure it's like that on a serve. I wish I could speak to experience on what it's like to take attacks from that, but it certainly has to be different.
As Allison Wilkes gets another ace for the Falcons. That's her first of the match. But Seattle Pacific now up 10-9. Heilborn, Payne behind her back to Davenport, and that one goes wide. So 2 straight points by Seattle Pacific. Actually, I believe that's 3 straight points by Seattle Pacific. And they are up 11-9 here in the second set.
There's a kill by Maddie Pruden, then a service ace by Allison Wilkes, and an attack error by Davenport.
And serving again is Allison Wilkes. Woodruff, Payne behind her back to Davenport. She pushes it, but that's Gould was right there to dig it out as Pruden gets it again. Dug up by Lologo. Payne to Davenport, and she puts it away. So a senior-to-senior play. And Allison Davenport now with 6 kills of her own for the match, which is great. Great way to end her Western career. Vikings now down by 1.
Honrud, Davenport, and Heilborn leading the team with 6 kills each. Perry has 5 for the Falcons, and Pruden and Hare have 4, excuse me.
And in a match this close, you expect some good stats, and that's what you're getting. And Davenport with the block. And Ben, you know, it's kind of like basketball for these volleyball players, as in, like, what would you rather have? A made shot or a dunk or a block? And you kind of would ask these volleyball players, what would you rather have, a good spike or a good block? And I'm sure some of them would say, I'd rather have a good block.
Oh, for sure. Just stuffing somebody, there's no better feeling than that.
And that one's in there, even though that was kind of a late effort by Woodruff.
You can't fault her for trying, though.
No, definitely good effort. It just kind of passed her about 2 seconds before that. But, you know, like, she is always somebody that's going to get on the floor, get those digs, and she is so good defensively. And although she made me laugh in that play, she's so vital for this team. Payne over to Davenport, and that one is put away. So Davenport now has the game-high lead with 7, and the game is now tied at 12.
Seemingly all of the attacks going Davenport's way, and you may think that's just because it's her senior day. I think it's just because she is on fire right now. 18 total attacks, 7 kills, a hitting percentage of .333.
And an unfortunate service error by Davenport. That is her second this set alone. And Seattle Pacific leads 13-12.
6 service errors in the game now, or in the match, I should say, by the Vikings. 2 for Davenport, 2 for Payne, and 2 for Lologo.
Payne over the Ritza sender, and that one deflects, but good dig by Rosenthal, but that one goes long, so tough break for Seattle Pacific after that great dig by Rosenthal. But the Vikings and the Falcons are tied at 13 once again.
And like I mentioned in set number 1, we're seeing a ton of offense here in set number 2. Vikings are hitting at 500. Falcons are hitting at 400.
And Heilborn was on the serve there, but on that Payne block, it goes out of bounds. And I believe that was Aaron Gould on the kill. You can see on this replay. And it definitely was. So good timing by Payne, but the point will go to SPU, and they lead 14-13. As Rosenthal's going to serve. Davenport, Payne, over to Honrud, and that's great block by Wilkes. Out of system play, and Honrud bounces back. And then that was a great job by the redshirt freshman to keep her composure after getting a block, getting her attack blocked and come back with a kill.
Hanrud going up, swinging that silver hammer. We're going to take a quick break here. It's 14-14 on WECU Court. We'll be right back here on Vikings TV after these messages.
Dear college sports,
there's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
I would summarize my experience at Western as I was a guarded, nerdy kid who loved to perform, who allowed herself to put in the time and effort to carve herself into something.
Junk in the trunk, junk in the trunk,
Okay.
And whatever that was has led me to where I am right now, to be a fully realized woman. And I'm really thankful for the time and the effort that I put in for myself, because if I didn't do it, no one else was going to.
And welcome back to WECU Court on the campus of Western Washington University for the last match of the season for the Vikings as they take on the Falcons. Vikings won the first set 25-23, and here in this second set, we are tied at 14. So as evenly matched as it can be here. And some great offense, a great defense, just all around great volleyball being played here, especially for a season that's been in the spring rather than the fall. And Hanrud, again, with another kill, and she now has the game-high lead with 8 kills.
Man, if Hanrud can keep playing like this, especially when you mentioned we're in the final game of this season here, this is her freshman season. If she can carry this momentum, she's had back-to-back really strong games here today. If she can keep building on that and become just another dominant outside hitter for these Vikings, 2022 is going to be filled with power for this team.
And last season, Diane Flick-Williams had 3 freshmen play a lot for her, Heilborn, Aliaga, and Lalogo. But this season, Hanrud, one of the only freshmen to really get a lot of playing time, and she's really made the most of it. But on that play, as you can see on this replay, that is blocked, but it goes out of bounds. And Sydney Perry gets the kill. And we are tied here at 15, Ben, again.
That was Hanrud again, and I'll mention quickly, Hanrud will likely slide into Allison Davenport's role next year as that one is down for an ace. Falcons take a 16-15 lead. That was Lindsay Lambert.
But Diane Flick-Williams immediately went to the challenge table on that one. She had a great look at it, and it looks like, as you can see on the replay, she was walking towards the scores table even before the call was made, because she thought, if they call it in, I'm going to challenge this play. And again, good. It's easy for us to talk about because we know exactly what they're challenging. But the call on the court is that SPU had the ace, and they're up 16-15. But for this to get overturned, indisputable evidence, something that the MLB and the NBA and the NFL have a hard time deciphering. But so far with this replay system that we have at Western, I think we've done a pretty good job. The officials have done a pretty good job. And they have not overturned something unless it really, really shows that indisputable evidence.
Video replay is much harder than fans at home think it is. Looking down here, just from off your naked eye, that's very close. You can see the ball almost phasing through that back line. If it nicked the line, it was just by about a centimeter. We will see what the official call is. While we have time here, I wanted to finish that point I was making. So Hanrud next year, if she slides in to the Allison Davenport role, you can see it's mighty close. I mean, it's almost, can you fit a piece of paper in between the ball and the line?
That might not be enough evidence to overturn it unless they have a better look or closer look, and she's already done with the official calling of it. But Ben, why don't you finish your point you were making there before the break happened?
So once Hanrud slides into that role, Gabby Gunterman's going to be a senior next year. Gabby Kepley is another freshman on this roster who has just loads of power. And so next year, if you say Malia Aliaga may be the setter with Janae Pay graduating, it's going to be Malia Aliaga and her choice of Callie Heilborn, Kylie Hanrud, Kepler, Olivia Fairchild, anybody you want to throw in there. Gabby Gunterman, she has so many weapons. And just the offense of these Vikings next year, like, I'm almost salivating thinking about it. There are so many talented hitters. It's going to be maybe difficult to spread the ball around. These girls are young. They got tons of power. And this year's been fun. I'm thrilled for next year.
And during the break, the official made the call, and she called it out of bounds. So a service error on Seattle Pacific. So the point will go towards the Vikings.
You know, the only reason I'm surprised about that, I do think it was out. But looking at the replay, it was mighty, mighty close. There wasn't really indisputable evidence that it was out, at least in my opinion. The referees obviously thought differently. But just because it was so close and the call on the court was in, I was kind of surprised it was overturned.
I definitely agree 100% with you, Ben, on that play, but Western will take it any way they can take them. As Hanrud does the block back and she gets another kill, she is 1 point away from being in double digits, and we're not even done, as a matter of fact, with the second set. She's almost in double digits. As Payne will serve again. Vikings up 17-15. As Pruden puts it away, the lefty. SVU now down by 1.
Take a look at this. Going right to Pruden. You got a little fake in there. Vikings got a finger on it, but Falcons take the point. 17-16.
And Erin Gould is going to serve. She is one of the few upperclassmen on the team. She's a junior. Mersic hits it right off the top of the net, and that's why it's shaking as Brockvogel goes for the attack. This is an out-of-system play, and somehow Mersic, and that was, unfortunately, that was definitely an easy call for the refs. She had a double hit on that play. And we are tied here at 17.
It's going to be another one of those games going into each team's going to have 28 points at least, most likely. You can see the illegal hit there by Marisic.
A little bit of miscommunication, but somehow Hanrud almost put that one in. Brockvogel, and that's timed perfectly by both Davenport and Marisic. Kind of a weird little rally here that we got going, and that one went off, I believe, the head of...
Off the face!
Brockvogel. Hopefully she's okay. She sounds like she's fine, or she looks like she's fine. Let's see this here. Ouch.
Hanrud right off the forehead.
She is fine. She's staying in the match. I probably would have been on the 60-day IL on that one. And on the attack, Vikings with some good defense. They're up 18-17. Oh. And a weird play there, Ben. Point Vikings. And the Vikings even kind of looked like they were surprised that they got that point.
So this was bizarre all around. Take a look. So a missed feed, scooped up by Heilborn, and then a miss hit. So 3 missed hits in a row that somehow ended up as a point for the Vikings.
And if this was my intramural volleyball team 10 years ago when I was at Western, that would make sense. But these are two very, very good teams. As Woodruff has a service error for the Vikings. And, Ben, is that 7 service errors for the match for the Vikings thus far?
It is, yes. And I will comment quickly. Intramural volleyball doesn't look anything like real volleyball. It is probably the ugliest volleyball you can ever watch, but it is a ton of fun.
Yes, playing volleyball is fun regardless, but these girls make it look easy. As Heilborn on the attack, and that's great defense by the Vikings and the Falcons. Davenport, and she gets it as it deflects off the block into the antenna. So that's going to be a point for the Vikings, and they lead 20-18.
Davenport has had 19 attacks in this game. She leads the team. Gets her 8th kill there.
And that's a pretty good percentage when you think about it, because she started out the first rally, she had 4 attacks.
Yeah, she's been aggressive all game long.
And out-of-system play to Heilborn, and that's great timing by Hare. Heilborn again, and that's a great dig. That one was by Lambert. Brockvogel goes for the attack. Another attack by Heilborn. And that's 3 straight attacks on this rally for Heilborn, but the Vikings will come out on top for this rally. They're up 21-18, and I think Coach Abby Wright's going to call a timeout, and she is. Vikings lead in the second set, 21-18. We're going to keep things here, Ben. And one thing that we've seen a lot from both these teams is not only their blocking abilities, but their abilities to really dig out some of these hard attacks.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we mentioned it earlier, like coming into this game. These defenses have been very, 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 very good. In the last couple of matches we've seen between these two, the team's overall hitting percentages have been down at like 9%, 10%, 11%. Right now, the Vikings are hitting at 35%. Falcons are hitting at just about 21%. So in this game, they have had some great digs, but these offenses have really shown through. There's been a lot of, broken, extended plays that have featured some pretty snazzy digs. But overall, especially the Vikings offense, in the second set, they're hitting .462. Just constant pressure, and it's really leaking through.
And usually when there is a lot of attacks that are dug out, you're going to have a lower percentage, but not necessarily a lot of errors in those kind of rallies. But at the same time, you might end on an error because the rally takes so long that nobody can actually put the other team away. So those stats can be kind of misleading at times. It just shows there's been a lot of great volleyball being played here all day today, but especially in this second match. Pruden on the attack, and that one's dug out by Payne, and a little bit of miscommunication. Somehow Woodruff pancaked that one. But SBU takes advantage of the miscommunication, and that's another point for SBU, but they're down by 2.
What a play by Woodruff there. But then Seattle Pacific said, oh, that was cute. We're still going to take our point.
Yeah, and great job by Seattle Pacific to keep their composure and not fall into what I would have probably done, was be in awe of somebody doing a pancake move, as that one goes off the right side of her hand. And Coach Diane Flick, I think she's going to call a timeout, and she is. And so that is something, Ben, that has happened all day today. We have seen Seattle Pacific call a timeout, and we're going to keep things here, by the way. We have seen Seattle Pacific call a timeout, come back out of that timeout, and have only like 2 or 3 points. They have been going their way, but Diane Flick Williams will not let it go too far. There have been back-to-back timeouts and a handful of points because she wants to kind of nip things in the bud.
I mean, it's a game of adjustments, right? And Coach Flick Williams is a master strategist. Whatever she sees the Falcons roll out, she gives it a point or two, and then she says, all right, timeout. I'm going to explain to my girls what's going on. I mean, you can see the whiteboards in the huddle right now. I think I see Gabby Gunterman holding a whiteboard, an extra one. There's probably 2 or 3 that she's drawn on right now. So I wonder what she saw. I didn't see anything too drastically different from the Falcons in these last 2 points. Maybe it was just 2 points in a row, wanted to reground her group. But I'm sure we're going to see something fun coming out of this timeout. It seems like we always do.
Well, for all these coaches in the GNAC, and all of them are very, very qualified, very good coaches, Abby Wright for herself, and of course Diane Flick Williams, these timeouts are usually used just to tighten the focus when it comes down to it. Calm them down, say, hey, we still got this. But both teams use them when they need to use them, and they're good at using them. And throughout this day and throughout the 6 matches that they've had against each other, both teams do a great job coming off of a timeout that they called. Heilborn on the attack. And that one goes into the net. So Ritzesender was right there to block it, but that one didn't even make it to her hands. Went right into the net, so that's an attack error. Vikings now 3 points away from taking this second set here at home.
And you saw a really nice dig by the Falcons there to start that rally off. You're right, we've seen a number of them, haven't always translated to points.
And Hannah Hare somehow gets hers blocked and somehow hits it back up in the air, and that's a 50-50 ball. It looks like Payne kind of lost control of her body there and touched the net. She definitely did not deny it.
That's twice now we've seen Payne get kind of put in this awkward position and go up with one arm and try and stab it. She hasn't gotten the point either time. I wonder moving forward if she turns her body, rotates, and goes up for a block. I know it's a really awkward positioning, but if she could do that, she might be able to turn some of these 50-50s into a more manageable situation.
And Janae Payne gets another assist, and Heilborn gets another kill. And Heilborn started the match pretty hot. She's kind of been quiet since, but she does have 7 kills on the match.
The fact that Callie can somehow get 7 kills quietly is a kind of a testament to her play style. She is just everywhere all the time.
And on the attack, Perry, who's kind of came into her own, and Ritzesender sends it back.
Yeah, that's a big play by Ritzesender, one of the best blockers not only in the GNAC but in the entire country. Crucial spot here, getting that 24th point. Just a beautiful clean block.
And Ritzesender defensively has done a great job of trying to fill the shoes of Kaylee Harper, who used to play here, who was always blocking, always killing, and doing a great job. She's done a great job herself as that attack by Honrud goes to the left of the antenna. And so it is 24-22, and Seattle Pacific trying to salvage this second set, go into a third set tied at 1, but the Vikings 1 point away from taking this second set and being up 2-0.
The Falcons are hitting under 200. They hit under 200 in each of the first 2 sets today. I'll finish my thought after this point.
And Ritzesender on the attack. And great job by Gould. And again, I would not be surprised. Just like the first set, Diane Flick-Williams calls a timeout. Let's see what she does. She's thinking about it.
Doesn't look like we're going to get one. Oh, I spoke too soon.
We do get a timeout. And that's the thing, Ben. When you watched these matches all these years with Diane Flick-Williams, she knows when to call a timeout. She knows when to calm them down. She also knows when to just let them play. And she called a timeout at 24-23 in the first set, and she's done it again here in the second set. And I've never been in one of those huddles before. I've heard them kind of from the outside a little bit, but not really. But whatever she says, the girls usually come out ready and with a lot more energy and a lot more focus. It just shows how good of a coach she really is.
Oh, absolutely. That point that I was making before I realized, oh, we possibly have game point. I probably shouldn't talk over that. But the thought that I had is that the Falcons in game number 1, they were hitting about 300 nearly the entire first set. Ended that set hitting 182. They've been hitting nearly 400 all of this set. Now they're hitting down below 200. So they're kind of have been getting off to really strong starts, and they've just been running out of gas just barely at the end. I know that this game is pretty much as close as it can come, and they've certainly kept their pace. But their hitting percentages have slowly dipped as the matches have gone along, looking for some more consistent offense here in these clutch situations.
And one thing that should be taken in consideration is the fact that these athletes for both teams have been playing schedules this last month that they're not used to playing so much. This is the 3rd or 4th time this season that both teams have played 3 matches in 2 days when they're used to playing 2 matches in 3 days.
Sure.
So definitely fatigue makes a huge difference in it, and that's how SBU is going to extend this set. We're tied here at 24, and we got free volleyball here in the second set. And who was on the Zoe Schuchart, who just came in the match. She's got limited playing time, but she's a service specialist today. We are tied here at 24. Another really good service. We got an out-of-system play as Honrud goes on the attack. That one's dug out by Schuchart. Tapped over by Honrud. On the attack, Davenport hits it long. And SBU is up 25-24, and Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but Western was up 24-21, I believe.
Yeah, that is 4 straight points for the Falcons.
Schuchart with another good serve, and again, that just affects everything. That might not even make it over net, and it does. And a great dump, but great job by the logo to keep it, and Heilborn somehow almost gets it, and great timing by Ritzesender, and that is an incredible defensive play. She definitely jumped way too early, but she kept just enough time in the air to send it back, and we're tied at 25.
Yeah, Ritzesender is a block machine. You saw she was coming all the way back down, still got the block. I mean, we mentioned over and over, she's top 5 nationally in blocks year in, year out. This is a tremendous defensive player.
And also somebody who's not a half-bad offensive player.
Yeah,
to
not
her
at all.
Credit. And Gould just got it blocked by Marisic. Tapped over. We're going to have an out-of-system play. And actually, Aliaga almost had her first assist of the day, even though she normally is a setter. And Honrud puts it away, just adding on to her day. Not just this match, but her day. But this match might even be better than the match earlier today that she had 14 kills because she already has 11.
She's certainly on pace, and Aliaga does get her first assist of the game. She has 1, Payne has 27, and somehow Callie Heilborn has 1 as well. Callie just, gets stats willy-nilly, however she feels like it.
And it looks like there's going to be a challenge here, and I am not sure what they are challenging. I definitely do not blame Coach Abby Wright for challenging if she feels that something is up, because you don't get to take those home with you. But with that being said, I did not see anything on that play that I thought could have been challenged.
Honestly, the previous kill, well, there was a kill earlier in this. I believe it was when it was 24, I believe. Davenport had a shot that went long, and that I thought Coach Flick Williams may challenge it. It was very, very similar to the challenger we saw early in the set, right on that back line. But this last one, it was Honru got it over, it was blocked, and then it landed out of bounds on the Falcons' side. So I'm not too sure what the challenge is, unless maybe they thought Honru hit the net.
Not really sure on this play, but what kind of came to mind on just all of a sudden here, well, the net was shaking. So that is actually something that they might be challenging.
Honrud goes up.
And I don't think they're talking about that, but right when that replay started, the net was shaking, so they might be challenging that Western touched the net. If anything, it's a free timeout for Seattle Pacific.
Maybe that's why she challenged it, honestly.
Because that will not count against them. But we are not sure exactly what happened. And it looks like it stands, so even though we're not sure how it happened, if anything, Seattle Pacific got to talk things over with her team on a strategy of how to extend this match and win this next point.
I really think that may have been the ultimate motivation behind that. Very clever. I like that.
And Aliaga with the serve, and a good serve, and she ends it with an ace. My goodness. And this match has been incredibly close, but the Vikings win the second set 27-25, and they lead 2-0. And we're going to go to a break here. When we come back, it's going to be the third set. We'll be right back.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Quality food brings people together, so we continue to provide the best and freshest food available. Every day, we reach out, finding the best producers right here in our backyard. At Hagen, we partner with passionate local producers, farmers, and fishers to find you the best sustainable, fresh, and organic food. Hagen, Northwest Fresh since 1933.
The Teaching and Learning Academy is an organization that's housed in the library, and it's where people come to have conversations.
They deal with serious issues that have emotional impact in ways that are typically not found in a class.
We've talked about diversity and inclusivity on our campus and in our community.
It not only enriches my education, but also impacts the ways that I can continue my leadership roles.
welcome back to WECU Court, campus of Western Washington University, for this GNAC battle between Seattle Pacific and Western Washington University at Carver Gymnasium. Vikings lead 2-0. Won the first set 25-23, second set 27-25. And Ben, quickly, can you go over some stats from the first 2 sets?
So the Vikings yesterday, they lost. They had the Falcons sweep them 3-0. The Vikings hit it just 8%. Earlier today, the Vikings won 3-1, and they hit it 18%. So far in this game, they're hitting at 28%. Their offense has really just been dominant. Kylie Honrud leading the way with 8 kills. Davenport has 8. And this offense has really been very good, except the only kryptonite I will say is we see Honrud with an attack error there. They've been a little bit, sloppy at times offensively, but overall, they've really been stumping the Seattle Pacific defense.
And we are here at Carver Gymnasium. As that one is put away by Davenport. And that's her 9th kill of the match. She is almost in double digits here, and that's another assist by Payne.
They've really been feeding Allison Davenport. She's done such a good job of either going down the line or hitting the angle. She really mixes it up well and kind of freezes defenses just a bit.
And that one is blocked, and it looks like Davenport's going to get a block. To her credit. And the Vikings are up 2-1. She is very happy. Her and Janae Payne, their last matches here at WECU Court. And the Vikings lead 2-1. Pruden on the attack, and that was a weird angle by Pruden, but she somehow got some power behind it. Heilborn tapped it over. Batiste hits it into the net. So attack air. Vikings up 3-1.
Vikings got off to a similarly hot start in set number 1. They had a 5-1 start. Set number 2 was much closer, but here they're firing out of the gates once again in set 3.
In somehow, some ways, Seattle Pacific.
Wow.
They somehow got it back over, but Marisic puts it away, and Vikings are up 4-1. And the Vikings have had a tough time starting today in their sets, but this one, they're up 4-1 early. As Woodruff will serve. And Pruden on the attack. Woodruff right there with another dig. Davenport, good adjustment. That one is dug out by Lambert. Rosenthal and Pruden finally gets a kill in this set. She has had a lot of attacks.
Pruden now has 6 kills, 17 total attacks, 3 errors. She's hitting at 176.
And that could change immediately for her potential and everything. As Maddie Batiste hits it into the net, so that's another point for the Vikings. Vikings lead 5-2, and Tupu Lologo comes in for Marisic, and she's going to serve.
For Maddie Batiste, we mentioned at the beginning of set number 1, she dominates the Vikings when they play at home. But when they play on the road here at WECU Court, she really does not put up as good of numbers. Just 1 kill in 9 attempts. Her hitting percentage is negative .111. She's a totally different player when she plays at WECU Court.
And that is just really hard to dig out when Hallie.
I would say that's a good way to phrase it.
I'm kind of speechless on this one. If you can see the power on this one by Callie Heilborn, it is.
I mean, the defender was in position. That's where you have to be. It's just when she's hitting it at you a million miles an hour, sometimes it's just going to bounce away.
And Heilborn now has 8 kills. And even though Heilborn doesn't usually do things quietly, she kind of has quietly had 8 kills this match. As SBU is back on the board, they're down by 3, and they're going to serve.
I think part of the beauty of Heilborn's game is that the loud players in this match have been Kylie Honrud, Allison Davenport, big kills. But Heilborn still gets hers just in, kind of filling the gaps. Between the big plays, Heilborn's always getting those necessary ones.
And Davenport almost gets a kill, but they're going to get 4 hits. Or a double hit. And it was a double hit, so Davenport is now in double digits for her last match. of her career. She now has 10 kills, and she's going to serve. She also has an ace to her credit. And another good serve, and she has 2 aces to her credit. And the Vikings are up 8-3 early in this third set.
That's now, she does have 2 service errors, but you make up for it with 2 service aces.
And Davenport now with the serve again. And even though that's not an ace, it was definitely hard to bump. Heilborn does the deke, and she gets it. And we all know Heilborn's power, but she is so good at placing the ball at the same time. And the Vikings now lead 9-3, and again, Payne has another assist to her credit.
Oh, well, Payne's just an excellent setter, always putting the ball in the perfectly right position for her hitters.
Davenport with another serve here. That one controlled by Batiste, and Hare is back on the board.
You could see after that play, it was Heilborn and Casey Woodruff, who are both very good friends off the court. They both had the same idea. They both went to kick the ball as it was coming at their ankles. And they both kicked, missed, looked at each other, and were like, good idea, good attempt. But the Falcons do take that point, and it's 9-4 Vikings.
SBU. And that's good hustle by Payne, leaving it all on the court here. She knows it's her last match. Had a crazy good day for her last 2 matches, but SBU with a point. And they're now down by 4, but that was Austin Abali with the ace. And another good serve by Abali. As Heilborn tries to find the middle of the court, Batiste right there to dig it out. Abali over the parry and on the block. And that is the only time you'll ever see somebody hit it 3 times. And on that attack, SBU gets it, as that was Sarah Brockvogel. She gets the kill, and SBU with 2 straight points. They're now down by 3.
So Brockvogel has 16 total attacks. This is only the 2nd time this season that she's had 10 or more attacks. The other one was actually against Western earlier this season, one of their first series that they played. So Brockvogel almost like the silent Grim Reaper just to bring out for these Viking games, kind of a hidden asset for the Falcons.
And another point for the Vikings, and Heilborn is going to serve. And that's another ace for the Vikings. This time Heilborn in on the action. And Ben, we talked about the service errors the Vikings have had. Well, they've also had a lot of service aces.
They have it. They started off with a lot of service errors, and now they've really turned it around. At one point they had like no aces, 6 errors, and now it's totally flipped.
And that was a good block by the Vikings, but it goes out of bounds. Let's see who has this attack, and that is, I thought it was Hannah Herg. I wasn't quite sure who.
It was Brockvogel once again.
It was Brockvogel. Brockvogel with the kill. That's another kill for Brockvogel. And again, Ben, you mentioned earlier she does not play that much. She's only a freshman, but she has played a lot this last match, and she's making the most of it, at least having a lot of attacks to her credit.
And kudos to her as well, being a freshman, getting most of her playing time against one of the best teams in the nation in these Vikings, and really having her best games of her very young career against them.
Heilborn, Payne, over to Honrud.
Sheesh.
And that was powerful, and she now has 12 kills to her credit. And Vikings are 1 kill away for Heilborn, away from having 3 people, or athletes rather, in double digits.
Man, what can you even say about Honrud? She literally leaves me speechless when she's just destroying these kills. 12 kills for her on 21 total attacks, hitting at 429.
But that is a tough serve, as that one goes right into the net. And Aliaga definitely mad at herself for that one.
Her first service error of the day. Vikings have 5 aces and 8 service errors. Falcons have 5 aces and 5 service errors.
And 22, Zoe Schuchart with the serve. And Honrud, it's deflected, but that one dug out. Abali, and they're going to get Abali for a double hit. An illegal set for Abali.
Take a look at it right here. That's always such a tough play for me to call, at least in my eyes.
And that's why we have the best officials in the nation making these calls, because they're hard to see by the naked eye. As Hanrud, lucky number 13. I said that earlier, Ben. I know you weren't here, but she got lucky number 13 around the same time last match as she did today. Actually, not today. It was today that she has for this match.
Sure. Hanrud now 13 kills, 3 attack errors, hitting at .435.
Payne with another good serve. The logo out of system play over the Heilborn, and that one is dug out by Schuchart, and Perry tries to tap it over, and the logo, great hustle, tapped over again. Great job by Payne to keep it alive, as well as Heilborn. That one was just put away by Allison Wilkes. And Ben, that was a tough play for both teams because it was a little bit of sloppy play, but Wilkes just kind of ended things right there.
It was sloppy play, and what happened to the Vikings, they lost their form, honestly. There was at one point where all 6 players were very, very close to the net. Heilborn was the first one back, but by the time the rest of the team started to regain form, it was too late. The Falcons had already capitalized on it.
Lindsay Rosenthal with the serve. And Hanrud, she now has 14 kills for the match, and that's as much as she had in the first match today.
Back-to-back games with 14 kills, doing it in style as well. Hanrud also, tons of energy, tons of passion. When she gets a good kill, she lets everyone around her know it.
And I think Hanrud might be on her way to being a GNAC Player of the Week for offense, as that one is put away by SPU. They're now down by 4. But SPU kind of running out of time here. Last match, though, they were down 15-10, and they reeled off 4 straight points to make it 15-14.
These Vikings right now, they're going to be a tough nut to crack. They are playing very well.
It's Davenport as that one is dug out. Batiste. And that one may have gotten away with a double hit.
Looked like it.
But Pruden on the attack, and that one's dug out by Woodruff. And Davenport gets it, and she is now, actually she's already been in double digits. I was going to make a huge deal about her being in double digits, but she already had 10. So she has 11.
There you go. That was exciting. I like that.
And this one goes to 11 as the logo is going to serve.
Vikings as a team hitting 364 in set number 3. They're hitting 305 in the match overall.
And the logo with another service error. Vikings up by 4.
Vikings have played very, very good volleyball today, but they've had a lot of service errors. That's 9 now and 3 for the logo.
And I believe they had, around 6 from last match. As Allison Wilkes will serve. Payne over the Heilborn, and that's a great dig. Right back to him, though, as Payne over the Ritzesender, and that's a great block. That was Maddie Pruden on the block, and she's going to try to put it away as the logo digs it out. Payne over to Davenport, another good block. Brockvogel is dug out by Lologo. Payne over to Davenport, and again, another great rally. Out of system play for SPU. And unfortunately, that one hit the antenna. So the Vikings are up 17-12. A great job by Davenport to set that back into the middle rather than trying to risk it and go down the line. The Vikings up by 5. And another set. It might be a set error, I'm not really sure, but there's definitely some miscommunication on that play. And Coach Abby Wright is going to call a timeout to talk things over. As you can see the replay right before we go to break. Looks like that was just a miss hit. And the Vikings now lead 18-12, 7 points away from winning their last match of the season in straight sets. We'll be right back.
Quality food brings people together, so we continue to provide the best and freshest food available. Every day, we reach out, finding the best producers right here in our backyard. At Hagen, we partner with passionate local producers, farmers, and fishers to find you the best sustainable, fresh, and organic food. Hagen, Northwest Fresh since 1933.
And welcome back to WECU Court, campus of Western Washington University. Last match of the season for the Vikings. They're taking on Seattle Pacific. This is the 6th matchup for the two teams. Vikings winning 3 of the last 5. So Seattle Pacific trying to tie things up here, going 3-3 for the year. Western trying to win 4 out of 6 against Seattle Pacific. Again, no GNAC this season as far as league is concerned, but the Vikings have only faced GNAC opponents, Seattle Pacific, Central Washington. We got Western Oregon was a part of it. Could have been St. Martin's, but they had to cancel their season. And so as long as they are able to get, they're going to be able to get about 11 matches in this season, and the only 2 losses the Vikings have are against these Falcons, a very young but talented team. And they are definitely capable of coming back from being down 2-0, but they definitely have some work to do as the Vikings are in the driver's seat. And Heilborn unfortunately hits that ball. Looked like it was going long. Tapped over by Brockvogel and Heilborn right there. And the dump by Payne, and it works this time. Janae Payne, one of 2 seniors. And then it's really nice to see 2 seniors not only get a lot of playing time, not that it's not deserved, but definitely play the entire match, but not only play, but play well doing it.
So Janae Payne now, 35 assists, also has a block, and now she has a kill.
And SBU tries a dump of their own as that's an out-of-system play. And oh my goodness, Hannah Hare sends it back. Hanrud going for her 15th kill, but Hannah Hare said no.
No, and then some. A very stern no. Yeah, Hanrud, so much power on offense, and Hare, such a powerful just blocker. So when all that force comes right into the hands of Hannah Hare, she can just send it down at mock speed.
Ashley Antoniak on the serve for SBU, and on the attack, Hanrud again. Hannah Hare bounces back. She gets a block, and then she gets a kill. So that's 2 straight points for Seattle Pacific.
Hannah Hare has 9 kills now on the match, hitting at .571.
And the Vikings up by 4. Davenport, unfortunately, hits it long. And was that Hannah Hare again?
Yes, it was.
She's now in double digits. So that's 3 straight points, and all of them credited to Hannah Hare.
Well, that was just a mistake all around by the Vikings. Return went over the net right into the waiting hands of Hannah Hare.
But you saw in that play, Ben, Janae Payne did exactly what you said she may have thought to do. Instead of trying to tip it over, she tried to block it, but Diane Flick-Williams will call a timeout here. 4 straight points for Seattle Pacific, and we're going to go to a break. We're here in the 3rd set. Vikings lead 2-0, and they're up 19-17. We'll be right back.
The Teaching and Learning Academy is an organization that's housed in the library, and it's where people come to have conversations.
They deal with serious issues that have emotional impact in ways that are typically not found in a class.
We've talked about diversity and inclusivity on our campus and in our community.
It not only enriches my education, but also impacts the ways that I can continue my leadership roles.
And welcome back to WECU Court. Western Washington University against Seattle Pacific University. Last match of the season for the Vikings. They lead 2-0, and they are up 19-18. But SBU, 5-0 run for the Falcons. They were down 19-13, and I had mentioned earlier, Ben, that if Seattle Pacific wanted to come back, they needed to do it soon, and they have.
5-0 run, also a 6-1 run.
As Honrud puts it up, somehow that's dug out. But that one unfortunately goes wide as Honrud was pumped that it went wide. They will take the points any way they can get them. And it's not because they're struggling. They just know that points, the more points, they'll just take it. They don't need to have a kill. They can have an error be the situation for it. So Vikings up 20-18. And there's an ace. Malia Aliaga, the service specialist today. That's her first ace of the day. Second ace of the day. Thank you, Ben. And we're going to keep things here as the Vikings lead 21-18, and they're 4 points away from sweeping here at home in the second of two matches. And Ben, what we saw from Diane Flick in that timeout is that even though Seattle Pacific came out from the timeout and had a quick point, the Vikings were able to reel off 2 straight points, and Coach Abby Wright had to call a timeout to talk to her team.
Yeah, these next ones here, these next points are huge, as an understatement. Next point, if Western gets it, it'll be a 4-point lead. If the Falcons get it, it'll be just a 2-point lead. And late in the game, I know I mentioned it earlier back in set number 1, difference between a 4-point lead and a 2-point lead at this stage of the game, monumental. So this next point for either side is really, really important. And each of these points, especially the next 3, huge, massive, massive points right here.
Falcons looking to extend this match as the Vikings are up 2-0. Vikings won the first match of the day in 4 sets. That was a good serve by Aliaga. And even though she probably won't get the ace on it, she won't get the ace. That doesn't always matter. That puts them in good position as Honrud almost gets the kill. Batiste, she sends it in as that deflects and goes out of bounds. And Ben, on our angle, it looked like Heilborn maybe could have let that go, but it also could have been deflected by the Vikings.
Let's take a look here. Looks like it was deflected by Heilborn. I think it would have been close. She definitely hit it and made it look farther, but I think it might have gotten pretty close to landing on that back line, but we'll never know.
But I think Heilborn went after it because she thought it was deflected at the net by the block. But either way, you don't fault the effort on that play as Honrud goes on the attack. And Wilkes puts it away. And honestly, I would not be surprised if Diane Flick Williams, after this point, if SPU ties it, will call another timeout, even though it just happened.
So I mentioned those points there were huge. Instead of 21-18, it's now 21-20.
Schuchart with a good serve, and good job by Heilborn just to tap it over on the attack. And again, let's see if Diane Flick Williams will call a timeout. She looks like she's thinking about it.
This game was 18-12. Falcons are on a 9-3 run.
And we are tied here at 21 as Schuchart has a great service at no rotation whatsoever. And Honrud, just like she has been all day, stopping rallies, and she has 15 kills on the match. Vikings up by 1.
Man, if you were a GNAC volleyball fan and you didn't know the name Kylie Honrud before today, you certainly do now. She is coming onto the national stage pretty soon. She has 15 kills in this game, and she is dominating.
To go along with 14 earlier today. And Payne has a dig to her credit now. That was a tough break by Honrud. She hit the antenna, and we're tied here at 22. And Ben, this whole match has been incredibly close. And if the Vikings are able to sweep the Falcons, it is not the fault of the Falcons as far as not being close and being within, I guess, manageable distance of winning these matches.
Oh, for sure.
Or these games, rather.
Yeah, these are not actual sweeps in my mind. These are incredibly well-contested matches. The Western happened to win 3 in a row.
And that's if it even happens. We're
true.
still 22-22.
Yes.
As Davenport puts it away. Davenport, her last match of her whole career, she now has 12 kills to her credit. And the senior from Auburn Mountain View High School in Auburn, Washington, she puts it away. And Ben, both these seniors going out on top with stats, hopefully with wins in their mind. Batiste. And we are tied at 23 again.
Batiste coming alive. At one point, she just had 1 kill on 9 attacks. She just gets her 5th with 15 attacks, hitting 200.
And I wouldn't be surprised here. Sorry about that, Ben, but I wouldn't be surprised here if whoever gets a point, the opposing coach calls a timeout, and it will be the 3rd straight set that would happen. Out of system play over to Heilborn. And I don't know how Heilborn got enough on that one. That is incredible. She was on the back of her heels, and she still got it. Davenport tries to push it to the corner, but that one's read like a book. Another out-of-system play to Pruden, and that is blocked by Heilborn. And that one is going to go out of bounds. 24-23.
What do you think, Sean? We're going to see a timeout here?
You know what? We will not.
All right. Coach Flick Williams must have said, all right, let's buckle down. Let's do this. 24-23 Falcons.
And we're going to have more volleyball. As that set ends, 25-23, SPU wins, and we're going on to a 4th set here at WECU Court. So the Vikings are up 2 sets to 1, but SPU takes this 3rd set 25-23. We'll be right back.
Quality food brings people together, so we continue to provide the best and freshest food available. Every day, we reach out, finding the best producers right here in our backyard. At Hagen, we partner with passionate local producers, farmers, and fishers to find you the best sustainable, fresh, and organic food. Hagen, Northwest Fresh since 1933.
My name is Morgan Paris-Lanza. I'm the executive director and one of the founding organizers of Bellingham Girls Rock Camp. Not only is it an opportunity for kids to learn music, write a song, express themselves, but they also gain these leadership skills that they might not get in other places. It's a program, it's a culture as well as an entire movement, and we really want everybody to feel like they're a part of it, because they are. We all rock.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Dear college sports,
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
we've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
I would summarize my experience at Western as I was a guarded, nerdy kid who loved to perform, who allowed herself to put in the time and the effort to carve herself into something.
Junk in the trunk, junk in the trunk,
And whatever that was has led me to where I am right now, to be a fully realized woman. And I'm really thankful for the time and the effort that I put in for myself, because if I didn't do it, no one else was going to.
And welcome back to WECU Court on the campus of Western Washington University for this GNAC battle between SPU and Western Washington. Vikings lead 2-1, but SPU took the third set by a final score of 25-23. On your screen at Carver Gymnasium, we have some Hanrud highlights. She has 15 kills on the day, Ben. And can you go over some of the other highlights? But definitely that's a main highlight.
Kylie Honrud is hitting the tar out of the ball right now. 15 kills, a .312 attack percentage. But how about those Falcons trailing 2-0, closing that third set on a 12-4 run? Setting up, I mean, that was their one. They had to do a do or die to set up the potential reverse sweep in order to win a game. On the scorebook here, it says 0-3 Vikings, but it is 1-2 Vikings. Looking at some leaders for the Falcons. They're staying alive here in this match, ready to do battle in set number 4. Hannah Hare has been terrific, 10 kills. Brockvogel has 8. Perry has 6. Baptiste has 5. Hare also with 3 blocks. 4 total blocks for the Falcons, 7 for the Vikings.
And Janae Payne with the service error.
I will also mention quickly, in that last set, the Vikings had 9 various errors, whether it was ball handling error, service error, attack error. They had 9 unearned points given to the Falcons. Definitely a big part in that late run.
And the Vikings had a 19-13 lead. And SBU riding that momentum as they're up 2-0 here. On that block, that was Lindsay Lambert, and she is the setter. So that is an incredible block by the setter. And SBU now up by 2 early on. Payne cross court to Davenport. Takes a little bit off of it. Almost a 50-50 ball, but Davenport played it safe for the give and go. And that's another good dig. That one by Schuchart. And Brockvogel on the attack. That one blocked out. Maricic on the attack. Another block and another dig for SBU. And definitely mishit by Heilborn. You don't see that happen very often. But also a very difficult shot to do overhand. You don't know the spin, and you also have to put a lot of power on that. Don't blame her for that one, but she would probably tell you she should have hit it over. But nonetheless, SBU up 3-0. And a service error for SBU. And Ben, Western definitely kind of trying to take back the momentum. They'll take those points, though.
There was a moment when it was about 18-12 in the last match, and I'll admit in my mind I was like, oh, these Vikings have all the momentum. It's over. I was thinking about my dinner plans, but the Falcons have totally stolen momentum. Another big kill there. They're the ones now exploding out of the gate here in set number 4. They're now on an 18-5 run spanning back to last set. They have all the momentum in the world, and now I thought the Vikings were kind of, putting the nail in the coffin. They are now completely on the defensive.
And it all starts with the serves, as SBU has done a great job of serving, and not only have they had a couple aces, but sometimes it's just about making it really effective. And it is a 5-1 start, and Diane Flick-Williams is not very happy. And this is the last match of the year, Ben, but you see the competitive nature that all these girls have, and especially Diane Flick-Williams. And she calls a timeout, and we're going to go to a break. SBU up 5-1, Vikings up 2-1. We'll be right back.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And welcome back to WECU Court on the campus of Western Washington University for this GNAC battle between Western Washington and Seattle Pacific. Vikings are up 2-1, but Ben, SBU has literally all the momentum at this point. Vikings won the first 2 sets, albeit close, but they were in position to win that third set with an 18-12 lead. But ever since then, it's been all SBU.
Well, the reason I said this in the first set, the reason the Vikings won set number 1 and set number 2, very, very close, is because at the end, I said it was their veteran experience kind of led them to the end, showed them the way to get there. It's totally flipped now. SBU, despite all the freshmen on this roster, they look like a team that has gone to numerous national tournaments in the last couple of years. They look great right now.
And Davenport, again, the senior, 13 kills on the match. SPU up 5-2, and that one's tapped over. I think that was Pruden on the tap order, and she has another chance at it. And instead of tapping that one over for placement, she just went with power on that play, and SPU up 6-2.
See a nice play there, getting up, throwing down, Maddie Pruden. Pruden, we haven't mentioned her name much, but she does have 8 kills. Another one of those players, gets them quietly, but gets them with a ton of power.
As Batiste was the one who served, but Allison Davenport bounces back, and she now has 14 kills on the match. She is one away from Hanrud, who we've talked about all match long, but Davenport in her last collegiate match, almost tying the game high. And she's going to serve as well. And she might get an ace, but she will not. But it does set up a good position for the Vikings on the attack as Heilborn tries to get it, but that's good defense by SPU. Set to the corner by Lambert, but Lalogo read it like a book, and Heilborn gets another chance at it, and she's now in double digits. Another quiet one for Heilborn, as she has not really strung out a lot in a row, but she's been very consistent. She has 10 kills and 2 straight points for the Vikings, and they're down by 2.
Heilborn also has 13 digs for yet another double-double for her on the season.
And that one dug out by
nice play.
Lalogo, and somehow they live for another day, and that is blocked by Payne. And Brockvogel ends it. Great job by Brockvogel to just hit that where they weren't. The Vikings with some fantastic defense, both blocking and digging, as Woodruff almost ran into the door trying to keep that play alive. But SBU with fantastic composure, and they're up by 3.
We have been seeing, as I've mentioned, all broadcasts, great offense, and this defense really has been picking up in these last couple of sets.
And Heilborn sends it away. On that angle, Wilkes looks like if she lets it go, though, it goes wide. Let's see on this replay. Kind of hard to see, but if it's a question, you go for it, for sure. But Heilborn with another kill, she has 11. That's also a good serve on her part. Pruden puts it away. And that one was set up by Lambert because that was a good serve by Heilborn. And on that dig, it kind of went awry, but Lambert came out of nowhere and set it perfectly for Pruden. SPU up 8-5.
Yeah, Lindsay Lambert, really an excellent setter for these Falcons. Every time we watch, she's always the one that I leave the game and I'm just like, man, she had a huge impact on the game.
And great job to keep that one alive. And that was a fantastic block, but it went out of bounds, but Hanrud gets another kill. And somehow, some way, Payne, with a very long cross-court set, was perfect on it. Actually, check that, I'm sorry. That was hit into the net, so that was an attack error by Hanrud. So that point was to SPU. It's 9-5, but Hanrud comes back with a kill of her own. She must have heard me talking about her, and she now has 16 kills. I said she had 16 kills before that. Now she has 16 kills. Vikings now down by 3.
No Gabby Gunterman, no problem. Gunterman hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Hanrud has filled that spot. 16 kills now and 30 kills just today.
And there's some question here, and it looks like, and Janae Payne is saying that it went on the outside of the antenna. And again, this one will probably be a pretty easy review here, but the Vikings were very adamant that it went on the outside of the antenna on the attack. Call on the court is that SPU got the point. They are up 10-6, trying to force a 5th set, Ben. And I wouldn't be surprised, no matter who wins this 4th set, if it's going to come down to the last 2 points.
And you go back and you look at hitting percentage in the 1st and 2nd set. Vikings hit just about 29% in each. Falcons hit just about 17% in each. So Vikings hitting like 10% better. And in the set number 3 and 4, it has totally flipped. Vikings hitting about 20% in the last two sets. In the third set, the Falcons hit 36%. Now they're hitting 55%. So early on, it was the Viking offense who was really finishing games strong, or sets strong, I should say. And in these last two sets, it's been that Falcons offense has finally come alive. They've just buttoned up enough of those errors to turn some digs into sets, into kills, and just getting it all going. They had a little bit of an issue kind of just piecing it all together, but now they've fully gotten it going, and they have a 9-6 lead here in set number 4. So, Sean, did you see anything on that, a replay?
I did not, because the challenge was actually in the way of the antenna. But it looks like, from what I hear, I'm getting some word that it was on the outside. And that is the first time in a few years that we've had this, that has been up the question. And it looks like on this replay, if you could see it right here, she definitely did hit it on the outside. You can see indisputable evidence. And Payne was right there to see it.
Payne and Aliaga and Callie Heilborn and Casey Woodruff, they all immediately put their hands up and said, "Oh, I don't believe you."
So that play was overturned, and the Vikings will get the point. They're now down by 2, and just like the stats major over here said, that is a difference between a 4-point lead and a 2-point lead for SPU. And every point in these matches count. How close they've been, rather. As Hanrud, she is at 17 kills for the match. Redshirt freshman, playing fantastic.
Hanrud is going to be a household name for these Vikings for the next 4 years. 17 kills. And look at that passion. Every time she gets a kill, she just lights up. It's fun to watch.
50-50 ball. Mersic tried to take it into her own hands, but just timed perfectly by SPU, and she also looked like she mishit it. So SPU with the point. They're up by 2 here. The Vikings, before that point, had scored 3 straight points, trying to get back some of that momentum. Going back to that third set at the end. But SPU with the point now, trying to get the momentum back. Mersic on the attack. An unfortunate break, even though I think it would have probably gone out of bounds or even upstairs, but it hit the speaker and bounced right down. We don't play at Tropicana Field, by the way. You may think we do in Tampa Bay. But that ball, you're not going to see this on this replay, but Mersic will get the kill.
But it came spiking back down.
Yes.
That was a good kill by the speaker.
Yes, 100%. And Payne right there for the dig. Out of system play, and the logo taps it over. And Hare kind of mistimed it, but still got a lot on it, but good defense by the Vikings on that play. Hare again puts it away. Hannah Hare, 11 kills. And she's another one, Ben, that we're just going to get used to her name. It's very easy to say. It's very fun to say, but we're going to get used to her name because she's only a freshman, and she is absolutely fantastic.
That is a good name, isn't it? Hannah Hare. I like that. I like the alliteration. 11 kills for her, 4 blocks, 13 total points.
And there's an ace on that play. And it looked like Allison Davenport was having a tough time reading that ball. Let's see how this ball kind of came over. And that was a
no spin.
Nasty knuckleball.
Wow.
That had no rotation. And I said earlier it was like a Phil Necro.
Oh my goodness, that one too. What a great knuckleball.
That one literally was just the same way, but that one died in another way. You can see this replay.
That just
my
died.
Goodness.
Wow.
That was absolutely filthy. And that one wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like the first two. As that one is just tapped over by Lambert. Behind her back to Davenport, and she hits it in there. Davenport, she is having a fantastic game for her last match of her career. She has 15 kills thus far. She's trying to go out on top, trying to go out with a win for her team. And SBU is up by 3 now as Casey Woodruff will serve. But Seattle Pacific trying to force a 5th set. And definitely in the spot to do so as Batiste sends it long in the corner. But she had a lot of power on that one. That one was a very, very hard hit kill.
Too much power, just carried all the way. No chance.
Two straight points by the Vikings.
Say a well-played fourth set. It was a 5 or 6 point lead earlier. Now it's down to 2.
That one is tapped over. That one's right into the net. I don't think that was a block, Ben, but it was right into net. I think it was an attack error, but the Vikings have 3 straight points now, and they're looking to tie this thing back up.
Maddie Batiste with another attack error. Excuse me, that last one was by Allison Wilkes. The block was attributed to Callie Heilborn, however.
It was attributed, okay. And Batiste bounces back. She has 8 kills, so she's almost in double digits herself. And I think the hard part for Batiste is that it's not that she doesn't have good matches here at WECU Court. It's that she has just incredible matches at SPU against Western specifically.
She really, really does. I don't have the stats in front of me, but based on some research we saw earlier in the year, there's a big, big kill from Callie Heilborn making this a 1-point game. Maddie Batiste will straight up average 20 kills a game against Western. They play at SPU. And here that number goes way down to like 7, 8, or 9. So it's a massive, massive difference. We're watching this game. The names we're saying are Hannah Hare so often. And if you're a Western fan, haven't watched a lot of SPU, Maddie Batiste is far and away one of the most dominant offensive players. Just can't really get it done at WECU.
And not done as well because 7, 8, 9 kills.
Oh, it's still, yes.
Definitely decent, but
for sure.
At SPU, I mean, just incredible.
Compared to what we are used to seeing from her, what we know she can do,
exactly.
Those numbers go way down when she plays here, which are still pretty high for the average player. But compared to her, it's just a little bit of a dip here.
And Maddie Batiste, 3 years ago against Western at Seattle Pacific, almost sent the Vikings home with 31 kills in a match that went 5 sets. Vikings came out on top. The Vikings now down by 3. And Maddie Batiste, just like we've been talking about, she is a senior, but she will be coming back next season. She has another year of eligibility. And the only senior that's not coming back for Seattle Pacific is Gabby Stegmoller. And she is here. Western was kind enough to get her flowers just like Seattle Pacific got Allison Davenport and Janae Payne flowers last night in SBU. They put that one away, so they're trading points here. SBU up by 3. But Maddie Batiste, senior, but is coming back. Janae Payne and Allison Davenport, they are seniors. They will not be coming back for the Vikings. They'll be definitely missed. And more than anything, it's the leadership aspect that they'll be missed. Brock Vogel on the attack. Woodruff right there digs it out. Payne over to Heilborn, and that one deflects and goes out of bounds, but it's deflected. Heilborn, 13 kills. Between Davenport, Heilborn, and Honrud, there are over 40 kills between the 3 of them.
45 actually between all 3. And Western only has 53 total.
And that one is blocked back by Ritzesender. We talked about her defensive plays that she has, whether it's a block, most of blocks, she can dig as well, but she is definitely one of the best blockers in the nation.
That's twice now. We've seen her actually get a block after she reaches the apex of her jump. She goes all the way up, still waiting for the ball. Then on the way back down, the ball comes over. It still has the control of her arms and her hands to get back up and get that late block.
And Hannah Hare on the attack, and that one's sent back. Out of system play here. And that was actually a very good set by Ritzesender out of system play, but it looks like on the follow-through, Honrud hit the net. And so SBU now up by 2.
The 7th attack error now for Kylie Honrud. You can see her hand smack that top white part of the net. The attack error.
50-50 ball. And I think Payne may have gotten away with one on that play. Lambert over to Brockvogel. Actually, that was Antoniak on the attack. And Hannah Hare puts it away. My goodness. That scared me, and I'm like 30 feet away from that.
I think next season, Vikings TV crew, if you could hear me, we need some kind of like broadcaster cam just to capture our reactions, because my jaw is hitting the floor on some of these kills. They are just so powerful.
And Ritzesender puts it away. 19-17 SPU leads, and Aliaga's back in the match. She's going to be serving. Today, Aliaga's been a serving specialist for the Vikings. As you can see, Ritzesender, that one's deflected by Antoniak. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor. We're going to go to a break here. We're in the fourth set. Vikings up 2-0. Actually, check that, 2-1. But SBU up in the fourth set, 19-17. We'll be right back.
Quality food brings people together. So we continue to provide the best and freshest food available. Every day, we reach out, finding the best producers right here in our backyard. At Hagen, we partner with passionate local producers, farmers, and fishers to find you the best sustainable, fresh, and organic food. Hagen, Northwest Fresh since 1933.
The Teaching and Learning Academy is an organization that's housed in the library, and it's where people come to have conversations.
They deal with serious issues that have emotional impact in ways that are typically not found in a class.
We've talked about diversity and inclusivity on our campus and in our community.
It not only enriches my education, but also impacts the ways that I can continue my leadership roles.
And we're back here at WECU Court as Aliaga has a good serve here to start this. And that one went right, that one went in there. Great kill by SPU. And we're going to see who was on the kill. That was Antoniak, but it went right at my partner's face. Ben was able to punch it out, deflected it, hit the official. Hopefully everything's okay with him. He looks to be good.
I thought I was going to get some kind of technical foul for that.
You definitely deserved it. And that one goes not long, actually. And on my angle here, yes, on my angle here, it looked like Honrud hit it, and it went out of bounds. It did not look like a deflection at all.
I don't see any deflection on there.
And they call it I think this will be a very quick replay for the officials, because when on our angle, we had actually a very good angle at it, and the replay was a very good angle on it. It didn't look like it was really even close to being deflected. But the call on the court is that it would be a point Western, so we're kind of hoping, or I guess Western is kind of hoping, that the officials may not see enough to overturn it, but just from first glance, I think they may have made a mistake, but that's why we have replay.
That was actually one of the previous replays that you see on the screen there. That was earlier in the game.
They're talking it over here.
So very likely we are going to see this point go to the Falcons, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
from this angle, it doesn't look like it was really close to.
That looked much higher than Hannah Hare's number 7. Looked higher than her fingers. Don't think she got to grab it. This will be the best angle. Well above her fingers.
We could definitely see some space between the ball and her fingers. So
the libero didn't make a move on it either. Didn't touch the ball. So that should have been just straight out, and we'll see the call shortly.
And I'd be very surprised if it's anything but an overturned call. And if that's the case, Seattle Pacific will get the ball, or get the serve and the point. And let's see what they say. Kind of surprising that the talk with the scorekeeper is even going as long as it is. Just we're trying to make sure it's right. And Looks like it's changed, and SBU will get the point. Not surprising here. Again, that's why we have replay. And the score is now 21-17. SBU with the lead. 4 points away from taking this 4-set, Ben. We might be looking at a 5th set. And honestly, that is not surprising between these two teams.
It'd be very, very fitting. Western is leading the season series 3-2 right now. A win in this match would give the Falcons a 3-3 split.
And that is a fantastic play by Janae Payne. She knew exactly what to do in that play. She dumped it over, and that was just one of the best plays I've ever seen a setter do, as far as not even being read at all by the other team.
Yeah, she was really sold that she was going to set it so well that everybody scattered. Gave her a nice platter, just dump it into.
And she is now serving as well as Hare puts it away. Hannah Hare, with no regard for human life. She gets the kill.
Hare now 13 kills. And Hare doesn't really mess around. Most of her kills are just spiked straight at your feet. Other players like Davenport, Heilborn kind of mix it up. Hare kind of sticks with the old reliable. Spike it as hard as you can.
And Heilborn kind of runs in front of Lologo on that play. But SBU is going to get caught for, I believe, touching the net. Let's see what happens here. I think they reached over maybe. But point, sorry about that, Ben, but point Vikings, I believe.
Excuse me. I was going to say officially it was a kill by Janae Payne on a block error by Allison Wilkes.
Okay. They might be this one probably will not be challenged. They're just trying to determine what exactly happened. Because I believe that Wilkes' hand was over the net. But I don't believe that that was necessarily...
I don't think that in and of itself would constitute a block error.
But point will go to Western, so...
I'm sure there was something that we didn't catch on the replay.
Nonetheless, we might get some stats here for it. But the Vikings would take a much-needed point. 50-50 ball, and Heilborn.
That's huge.
She times it perfectly on that one, Ben, and the Vikings now are down by 2.
I'll say it again, the difference between 23-19 and 22-20 is huge. Look at that big open area. Heilborn getting smart, getting aggressive, just dumping that ball in there.
Great job by Payne and Woodruff. And the logo just has to tap it over, but to live another day. And Batiste!
Ooh!
Batiste on the hit, but it is blocked back. Ouch. My goodness.
Davenport with power. Going up, sending it right back. That's 2 straight for the Vikings now, 22-21.
Woodruff on the serve. Batiste again, deflected. Lologo right there. Great hustle by Payne to get over, and Heilborn, and that's a great dig. Tapped over, and that one's wide. When we're tied, Ben, at 22, and this is exactly how the season should end. As far as SBU is concerned, they want to try to win this set and make it a 5th set, but regardless, this 4th set will end with probably a 2-point victory by either team. And we're going to keep it here as their timeout on the floor. Vikings on a 4-0 run. Coach Abby Wright calling a timeout, trying to get a little bit of momentum back with SPU. They were definitely in the driver's seat to extend this match with the Vikings with 4 straight points. And Ben, that block by Allison Davenport on Maddie Batiste was very clutch.
Clutch, and also just such a massive boost of energy. Momentum is such a fickle thing. I've always heard him call momentum Old Mo, and Mo is a very fickle man. He's either with you or not with you, and he will come and go very, very quickly. And it's just power plays, like not necessarily even power plays, just big, energetic, just boosts of life to an offense. They're huge. And so the fact that it could come from a senior in her final game in Allison Davenport, the emotion behind that, huge momentum boost for the Vikings. 4-0 run, 5-1 in the last 6 points. 22-22 here in set number 4. We're going to have another very exciting finish to a set here.
And Woodruff here, gonna serve. Gets it over, good serve by the sophomore. Batiste on the attack again, and she gets it in there. Hits the top of the net, and she gets it into the Blues. So Batiste now with 9 kills on the match. And that was a great adjustment by Lindsay Lambert to set for Batiste, and Batiste also adjusting to the set as well. Falcons up 23-22, and they're serving here. Lambert serving. Heilborn mishits it a little bit. Great job
by
Janae Payne
Look
to
at
save
Janae.
that. She's almost falling over because she is incredibly surprised. As you can see here, that was a fantastic set, and Heilborn just puts it away.
And the reaction, Kyle Bourne pointing at her, smiling. Janae Payne almost looked like she was melting a little bit with excitement. 23-23 and all kinds of momentum for the Vikings.
And Lalogo with the good set again is Pruden on the attack. And great job by Heilborn to set it over, and great hustle by Payne. And that's another block, and that one by Ritzesender. My goodness, and I would not be surprised if there's a timeout on the floor by Seattle Pacific. Let's see what happens here.
The score is close, but I gotta tell you, Western is just riding a wave of hype right now. Every single point they're getting is just firing the whole team up, and they're 1 away from clinching the final match of the season.
And just gets it over to net. And Pruden deflects it, but Lalogo with the dig. Payne, this might end it. And it does! Vikings win their last match of the season in 4 sets. And Ben, I know this isn't Go 5, but this was an incredibly well-played match by both teams.
Oh, every single match that these two have played all year have been fantastic. This is a fantastic rivalry right now. It's going to be great next year, the year after that, and hopefully for the full decade to come. Congratulations to Janae Payne. All the emotion, excitement, joy, sadness for leaving the program, but she has certainly left her mark, loved by her teammates, Davenport and Janae Payne. A sincere hats off, congratulations to both of those players. Tremendous Vikings. Both made an appearance in the NCAA championship game in 2018. Win in their final game here at WECU Court. Once again, just the most heartfelt hats off, congratulations. Allison Davenport and Janae Payne are 2 seniors just playing in their final game, a victory over Seattle Pacific.
And Ben, if you want to real quick, could you go over some stats for the full match here? We definitely have some great stats by both teams. Vikings winning 4 sets, but just kind of briefly go over them if you could. That'd be great.
First, let's look at the Falcons. Leading the way in the kill department was Hannah Hare with 13. Maddie Pruden had 10. The team hit 222 overall, 8 service aces, 6 total blocks. And looking at the Vikings, first let's look at these 2 seniors. Janae Payne actually finished with 3 kills, 50 assists, 10 digs, and a block. One of the best games of her career. Allison Davenport had 15 kills. Kylie Hunrud led the way with 17. Callie Heilborn had 16. This team hit 250, 6 service aces, 11 total blocks in their final game of the regular season.
And this will be the last match of the year for the Vikings, so it will be the last match that me and Ben Bagley, me being Sean Church, we got Ben Bagley here, will be calling this match. I just want to say to all of you guys who have listened all throughout the season, thank you so much for listening in. It was definitely very, very difficult. This year has been very, very difficult, but we have persevered. We at least got some volleyball in the spring. And it is fantastic to see the 2 seniors, Allison Davenport and Janae Payne, win on their last match on the court. There's definitely a lot of emotions going on right now. But again, thank you so much for tuning in the spring. We hope to hear you in the fall. With Ben Bagley, I'm Sean Church. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.